All right, so welcome back. I know we just did an episode this past Monday, but we're back. I am Super Blastex, and you are
Toku Tony. Hello, how's
and
everyone doing?
We're here at the Cho Super something podcast. We haven't nailed down a name yet, but that's kind of I do want to put Cho and Super in there. But we're back. We're here to talk about the latest episode of Superhero Time from this past weekend. Geats 23 and Don Bros 49.
Yep.
But before we get into that, how are you, TJ? How are you, Tony? Excuse me.
I'm doing great. Actually, this is a lot of this is good that we're doing this. We get to talk about it, which I haven't really had the chance to outside of, me and you, since I don't really talk to people in the community a lot, which has come to be a realization that I don't say the names entirely right. I read them, and we talk about it amongst ourselves, but we use like short names or like Blue or Red or like Bad Guy 1 or something like that. I don't actually say their names out loud, so I usually get it wrong just because of the way I read it or the way that I'm used to hearing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, you did have that one friend a while ago who was watching Gaim, right? Kamen Rider Gaim?
Yeah. I had them watch Gaim, like the first episode. They liked it and they started watching it, but I haven't heard anything about it since.
Okay.
They
haven't heard from them?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
They haven't. Last time I heard from my friend talking about Gaim, they were on episode 14, I believe. But that was the last time I ever heard about them talking about Gaim. And I haven't really, pushed to keep watching, forcing them to watch, because that's just not it's not cool. But I hope they liked it.
Yeah, it'd be hard not to. I mean, that show's wild.
Oh yeah.
But there is a hump you have to get over for that show, because it starts off as one thing, and it gets out of hand really fast.
A little too quickly.
Ninja Wizard Adventure King. That is what our Hitotsuki for this week has been. But we'll get into that later. I have been doing pretty okay. I'm still looking for employment, which is its own thing, but that's fine. I've been playing, with this time I've been playing a lot of Metroid Prime.
Oh, yeah.
Which is still probably one of the greatest games ever made. I want to be playing it right now, actually.
Nice.
But I'm also playing Pokemon. I never finished it last year because of my job that I had. I just worked, and I didn't want to play any games. But I'm now finally actually getting through with it. I recently beat the Team Star story. I know you don't know about any of this.
Nope.
But I really like it, despite its flaws and what's going on with it. I really like the way Scarlet and Violet turned out. We just got announced a new Pokemon Presents, which is kind of like a Nintendo Direct, but for Pokemon only. That's going to be happening in 6 days, and I'm really excited for that because we're probably going to get some DLC information for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and that's kind of also been pushing me to finish the game because I knew that was going to come. So I got to make sure I'm caught up so I can actually get the DLC and enjoy it.
Nice.
I've also recently cracked into Clubhouse Games, which is another Nintendo game, but it's got like checkers and mahjong, solitaire, stuff like that. And I like simple games like that, so I've been playing that as well. And yeah, as far as other tokusatsu stuff, I haven't really got any packages lately. Not because there's nothing I've wanted to order, but because I pre-ordered all my stuff so far in advance. I'm just waiting for stuff to show up.
Yeah.
And right now, I think I'm waiting on. It might just be King Ultra stuff now. I might have everything else already.
Yeah, I think the most recent thing you got was Die Ranger.
Oh, I need to get the Die Ranger. Yeah, I need to get the Kaku Ranger Shoto. I'm waiting for that.
Oh.
The Ninja Man Shoto. The Die Ranger Shoto that I 100% pre-ordered.
Yeah.
They just also announced the Die Ranger mini pla, and I'm all about mini pla. So I am so excited. I've been wanting that. Oh man, the Shoto. First of all, those are some of the best suits in Sentai.
Yeah.
Second of all, that mech. I really like it a lot. They look so cool. So I'm super excited for that. Hopefully, I'll have a job by then. If not, I'm still getting it. Whatever. Uh, um, but yeah, that's what's been going on lately, basically.
Nice. I was gonna say I haven't pre-ordered anything for a while. The only thing mainly would be Soto, but I haven't really been committed to collecting the Soto for Geats. Just because it's so there's too many.
Much.
Yeah, it's too many moving parts for like separate suits. The top and bottom parts are like cool aesthetically, but it kind of hinders on the toy part if you're big into collecting everything, which it can be cool. It looks really nice, but I can't buy every single Soto set just because it'd be super expensive to have the same four characters just in different suits.
Well, sometimes it's just different heads,
Yeah, that too. That
but
too.
it's the same body. Yeah, that's something about it. I even though I'm not a big fan of Geats suits, not. I don't hate them, but they're okay. I am still trying to get every female writer, so
That's right. Yeah, that's right. You've been collecting them all.
those
Uh,
are usually my favorite writers. So
I've really been liking so far Keiwa's suit design, being the ninja. I really like that form. That I think
you should just get
that's
those then.
yeah, that's what I've been trying to do. I have a little sort of like Sofubi bath bomb that we got from Tokollectibles. Inside
Hmm.
of it was base form Keiwa, and then I have his Soto Keiwa, his base form Keiwa in Soto.
Yeah,
Those two next to each other look awesome. I'm thinking about
yeah, he's
getting
your
the
favorite, right?
Sofubi. Yeah, he is my favorite so far.
Get the sofa beat. Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, just I would. Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and get into the episodes?
Yeah, let's do it. Superhero time.
Superhero time. Geats 23.
Yes.
So, in this episode, we sort of find out about what the GGP, or actually who is in the DGP, Desire Grand Prix. We find out that, well, I guess we should maybe say that for the end of the discussion on Geats. But last time we saw them, Baroba had gotten her belt. Well, not her belt, but the Beyond Driver. And it turns out that that can actually be used to teleport you to the Goddess of Creation, and that's what she wanted. She goes to the Goddess of Creation, tries to get her wish, doesn't work because she needs the producer's belt as well to activate it. Producer's not going to go along with it because she's wreaking havoc. So she's been using the belt basically just to teleport around. The DGP is on hold because of this. Geats really wants to know what they are, so he's questioning the producer and the other people, part of the game master, part of the GGP, what they are.
Mm-hmm.
When he asks them this, Baroba actually tells off screen Buffa and Nat Sparrow what they are, so they get the answer before Geats does, but we don't. Like the audience doesn't find out. The sort of bargaining chip is that if the producer tells Geats, then everything happening now goes away, and Geats wants to find out his mom, so he's not gonna try to mess with that because he really wants to find out what's going on with his mom,
Right.
which is his driving force. The farmer's main goal is to get Yamato to rule the world because he thinks they deserve it. He got attached to them. He wants them to actually be happy and stuff. There are two really powerful slaps in this episode. I know you like those a lot.
I love when people get slapped. It's so funny.
Game Master gets bodied. I guess it's the producer's assistant
Yeah, like
that does it.
yeah, the personal assistant, and
Yeah,
just a little thing. Every time he gets slapped, a little piece of glass falls out from his glasses, which is
yeah, his
great.
glasses. Yeah.
I love that.
Mhm. So since the GGP's canceled, or on hold, excuse me, the new goal for the writers, Geats, Tycoon, and Neon, is to go get the Beyond Driver. And Baroba is actually in the forest of the Jamato, so they have to go do that. Before they go do that, Tycoon and Neon meet with their sponsor. Neon's sponsor bounced because he didn't like that he found out that she was the disaster. But I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure We know that's the guy that she met with in the last episode, where he brought her back her compact. He really wants her to find true love. And then Tycoon meets with the frog statue, and the frog statue tells him, that he's the definition of a Kamen Rider, which is pretty astute. You and I have kind of talked about how he should be actually the main writer.
Yeah, it seems that way.
He's like a typical, like a shonen writer character.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty funny. They also do get a gift from their sponsor. So Neon gets the
Fever slot.
Gets the fever slot. Sorry, yeah, the fever slot buckle, and then Kwa gets the boost buckle. So they go to the forest. And I thought it was weird that they still teamed up together, even though the disaster stuff happened. But whatever, who cares? I was talking about how last week that didn't really matter, and it looks like they listened to that because it doesn't matter. They're just gonna go do what they gotta do. But while they go do that, Geats also sees Jean in the forest, and they sort of team up. That's his gift, is he gets to fight with him.
Mm-hmm.
And Geats, sort of in this fight, Buffa shows up, and then so does Baroba. And in this fight, Geats kind of puts together what's going on. Turns out that they are from the far future. The DGP and the people running it, they're from the far future, and they're basically using this era, this time, as a show for an audience in the far future.
Yep.
So it is just a reality game show. Once that gets revealed, Baroba sort of finally does what she wants to do. She gets her own gun that she henchins with, becomes this big bull robot tank thing, floats in the air, and it looks really funny because she sort of just rotates all around. It looks really awkward to me, but I don't know.
It looks hilarious. It looks hilarious.
Yeah, kind of like, what is it? The chat room, VR chat room.
Yeah.
Like if a character were to like be disconnected from the gravity, they would just sort of float away. It kind of looks like that. So yeah, she goes up in the world. She goes up in the sky, charges like a blast or a big punch or whatever,
mm-hmm.
and then comes crashing down to the world. And she's sort of, well, we can assume from the upcoming episode, the next time episode recap thing, she sort of resets the world, we think. I mean, we do see our heroes with like bandages on their face and stuff, so
yep.
We're not sure to what extent we're going to be seeing that, but we also see like a young Geats in what looks like a school uniform, so they could be resetting everything again. We're not 100% sure, but she basically ruined the game again. There's no winner, just like the one before, so it feels really unfair that they keep doing this, because when they were really getting into like describing the game, I was sort of hoping like, oh, that means like maybe every 5, 6, 10 episodes there'd be a new winner or a different winner, even though it's still just Geats. We can kind of see what kind of world that is, and that'd be a real cool way to like get different scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
Every couple episodes. But no, it looks like they're just going one straight line. I was kind of hoping it'd be more like a chronicle kind of series where these 5 episodes, these 6 episodes are its own story, and then somebody wins, and then okay, now this one, this happens. I was hoping it'd be sort of that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I do kind of appreciate, I guess, a main storyline throughout. What do you think?
Yeah, I think definitely a main story throughout fits a little better for like a Kamen Rider show focusing on just Geats, but we are following Geats, Tycoon, and Neon pretty closely, and Buffa on the villain side. A little detail in the beginning of the other episodes, the last 3 episodes, I think, it has the reality show sort of intro with talking to the main characters. This episode did not have that because the DivKid is on hold, so they actually can't do nothing. There's no reality TV element of this episode today.
Yeah, even though when stuff like this happens is when in reality TV's shows, when you get the most of that kind of people talking to the camera like, oh, I don't know what's going on.
Yep.
I guess blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I guess it makes sense that they didn't do that. Maybe they forgot. We'll see if it comes back next time at all. That was
I liked it a lot. Those little intros were like fun because it's really nonchalant.
Yeah, it made it feel very different. So what did you think of the episodes overall?
I think Zine, the new Kamen Rider, I think his fighting is really cool, although kind of cheap because he just uses like gravity technology to move everyone around. You see him in the episode like standing sideways. That seems to be his thing for right now, that he stands sideways and shoots people.
Yeah.
That was a cool cinematic shot of him next to Geats, sideways on a tree, right before Geats fought Buffa. Which, man, also the choreography on this episode was really good. I liked it a lot, including the Buffa and Geats fight, which I thought was really nice.
Yeah, I'm just every episode it's a new Buffa Geats fight. Like
Yeah,
we were just talking about Gaim before this, and Gaim would fight
Baron.
Baron a bunch. But even then, I don't think it matches this. Buffa really doesn't like writers, and he really doesn't like Geats the most. So I
Yeah,
get that, but it's making Buffa feel so one dimensional. Like I get his drive is that he lost his friend in the past Grand Prix, and he wants revenge, and that makes sense. But I don't know. I'm kind of getting sick of just them always fighting each other. Sure, the fights can look cool and everything, and actually Buffa got a good shot because Geats was dumbfounded that one part. Where he sort of realized, oh, you guys are from the future. Buffa took advantage of that, which was cool to see Geats actually hurt, bleed.
yeah, that was
Not
very
actually
interesting.
bleed, but you know what I mean. Um,
Buffa
yeah, that's
using
cool.
Buffa using his chainsaw sword was neat because he doesn't usually get a chance to use that, at least on the recent
Yeah,
episodes.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. He got an opening and he took it.
Very cool.
Yeah. So right now we don't know what's going on with Geats. The next episode, we did see some magazine scans. And of course, all of this has been spoiler. You should only really be listening to this if you've already seen the episodes. But we did see some spoiler scans of two new, I guess we're going to call them writers. They're going to show up in the next episode. The frog actually gets a human avatar. I don't know what's going on with that, but we can see he is going to become a writer, and it's going to be a CG frog.
Yeah,
And Kyun also is going to be able to transform. It looks like all the sponsors are going to be able to transform. He's going to turn into a CG lion. So it looks like Jean of the sponsor writers is going to be the only actual suit.
yeah,
Which
it looks that way.
that's fine. We had Dawn Brothers this whole year, and we had two CG Rangers, and yeah, it was janky at first, but it made me appreciate all those times they actually used the Inu suits so much more.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that puppet was fantastic every time. Same with we see like a live suit of Kiji.
and
Uh,
it's just his top half.
it's just his top half and the cameras in a certain way. I love doing stuff like that, getting away with stuff like that. That I love that so much that I excused the CG
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely.
And they also would do where Momoy would turn into the avatar, not the avatar, the alter change,
Yeah.
and sometimes they would use like a toy version of that to do whatever it's doing on
Oh
screen.
yeah.
I love that too. That's my heart and soul right there. I love whenever Tokusatsu does stuff like that because it looks. I think it looks great whenever it's practical and it looks
Mhm.
like that. That's peak Tokusatsu right there.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
So every time that happened, every time we saw Inu Brothers' actual little puppet body, um, or the Don Momotaro altar, or the Dragoku altar, just perfect. Don Dragoku, just I I'm gonna miss these guys. Speaking of, did you have anything else to say about Keats?
Um, I think so. Just to wrap it up in like a neat little bow, the gardener, um,
Yeah, Archie Metal.
Archimedal. Yes, 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 yes. I think his motivation is pretty valid, although a bit destructive in that he was like forced to watch the Jamato just be pawns in the game for so long, and he wanted them to have have their own piece of fun, have their own fights to win, which is why he wants to have them be bigger and better and greater. Also, another thing, the garden where they're at, from what we learned earlier, is the areas are the destroyed places in civilization that were taken over by the Jamato, which is now the Jamato farm.
Yeah, so the Jamato farms basically, and I don't know if it implied there was more than one, but at least that one,
Yeah,
it takes place over a spot where a DGP failed. So whatever writer failed, and that is where they are now farming the things.
Hmm.
Um, I had a friend on Discord tell me he doesn't like the show at all. He thinks it's inconsistent, blah blah blah. So he's not watching it anymore. But
Hmm.
they mentioned that Geats in an earlier episode, I don't remember when, mentioned that he was once in a game where everybody lost. Everybody
Oh,
lost.
yeah, yeah, he did. He did mention that.
So that could be that. Why Geats never investigated that or looked into it, I don't know. Or if they're even going to use that and reference that again, I don't know.
It it
Um,
could also be a thing to speak of inconsistency in the show. In the beginning, he told KY he's been playing this game for 2,000 years, which would add up if the DGP started in the Roman times where he has that coin, and then he's been playing this whole time, winning hundreds and countless games. But what we learned in this episode, that they're dimension hopping tourists, pretty much is what Zine says. They could have just started the DGP in Rome, and then like 2 years later went to the normal time. So Gates playing for 2,000 years wouldn't really hold up if they're not like going in real time. Because if they're going
I
in real time, how would he be immortal in that sense?
yeah yeah I hear you. Well, his one of his wishes was that he's always going to be in the games.
Right.
So that could like until he dies, right? Until he dies, he's always in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is that what it was? So that could be the loophole or whatever. We're not sure. We're still in the middle of the show. We're what episode 24,
Uh,
23.
23.
So a couple more and we're halfway, or we are halfway now. Who knows how many we're gonna get? But yeah, you're right. All that stuff you brought up, I forgot to bring up.
I thought it would be a really cool thing for the character to be 2,000 plus years old, but if it really is, their dimension hopping tourist, which was confirmed, then seeing Gates as a little kid in Roman times doesn't really matter that much, since they could just, dimension hop to the present time, which at the end of this episode, it seems like they're about to leave. But that's the only thing I have like nitpicky about the story so far.
I wouldn't be surprised if they try to claim that the Roman times was the first DGP,
Mm.
and all the stuff we know in history and everything was actually the DGP. Like, oh, you had to fight a lion in the Colosseum. That was actually DGP. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to rewrite history like that.
I can see that. But that wraps up Geats.
So yeah, Don Bros 49. We're one episode away from the end. My heart is breaking. I'm gonna miss these guys a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Uh, this is something I might have to sneak into my savings to get if they do announce a memorial Dawn Blaster.
Mm-hmm.
I might have to jump on that. But also, oh my god, this is a side note, but Kyoryuger is 10-year anniversary is this year.
Yeah, it is.
So that's it. That's me. I gotta get a job because that's whatever they do for the anniversary for that is gonna be here in my house. I'm going to own it. Period.
Yes.
The Kyoryuger is my favorite Sentai. Dawn Brothers is really working its best to be my second favorite, but I told you before, I really hope it doesn't poop the bed on the ending.
Yeah.
If the ending is bad, I will excuse it if there's an extra movie that we get, or if there's more stuff explored in the Versus movie with the Zenkaiger.
Mm-hmm.
But if episode 50 ends and we don't know what the hell happened, it's probably just going to be my maybe sixth favorite. I don't know.
Well,
We'll see.
it
Mm-hmm.
it could be a good ending, but still leave a lot of open questions, which, like you said, would be good movie. Uh,
Uh,
but if it does that, this would be like my fifth favorite Sentai. Not
yeah, and
not wrapping it
I,
up in a
I
bow.
I don't even know. I don't even know if I need for it to be wrapped up in a bow. I just think I need to be satisfied. We're gonna get into some of the stuff that happened in this episode,
Mm-hmm.
but from the last episode, remember Don Dragoku sort of just fuses and boom, that just happens.
Oh
I
yeah.
excuse that. Um, Don Momotaro with the mech, they just turn golden. that okay, sure, whatever. There's stuff I'm willing to excuse. So if we get to the last episode and it's still not satisfying, if I can find my way to excuse it, maybe I'll excuse it. But we'll see. Because man, there's well, we'll get into it this episode. The episode opens with all 9 of the Dawn brothers in a circle, sort of counting off because they're the Sonoi, Sononi, and Sonoza are now part of the Dawn brothers, which is really cool. We've not really ever seen anything like that before, where the bad guys become part of the team and stay a part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
At least as far as we know, before the end of the show. When they were counting off, the monkey pushed. Sorry, the monkey. Saruhara pushed Jiro aside so he could be number 2 because they're counting off. Momo is 1, Saruhara's 2, Jiro's 3, Haruka's 4, Kiji is 5, and when he holds up 5, he sees his ring finger and he's sad because it's tanned because he lost Miho.
So sad.
6 is Inuzaka. 7 is Sonoi. When Sonoi goes, you can see Sononi's head bobbing to the right, like she's walking to get closer to Inu, and Sonoi pulls her back to be number 8. That was one of my favorite parts of the episode. You just see her trying to get closer to Inu, and then Sonoza is 9. They're all talking like they're wearing their workout gear because they're always going to be training.
Mm-hmm.
But the manga duo go off because it turns out Haruka's manga is going to be serialized, so that's a really big deal. It's really awesome, and Sonoza helped her do that because he was acting as her manager. So they go off to the cafe and they work on the manga some more. Kiji is moving, so he walks away, and Inu feels really upset that Kiji's upset, so he goes chasing after him, and Sononi follows Inu because she still loves him. Saruhara goes off on his own because it's a nice day to write a poem. Sure. And then while the remaining 3 are left, Momoi, Jiro, and Sonoi, they get attacked by Sonoshigoroku, and our heroes mop the floor with them. They get their power-up forms, and they just wreck shop. So Sonoshigoroku leave, and the 3 heroes, Sonoi, Jiro, and Momoi, sort of, they unhinge and dehinge and whatever. And Jiro finally introduces himself properly to Sonoi. This whole show, they never actually properly met,
mm-hmm.
which is, I thought, wild because it's 49 episodes. They never met once. It's so crazy.
It's just to show you how underutilized Jiro is in the show.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, Inoue, the writer of the show, I think this is his first time writing a Sentai with the 6th character, Toshiki Ino. I can't say his name, sorry. So a lot of people were expecting him to not really know what to do with Jiro.
Kind of miff it.
Because Jetman was the last Sentai he did, and that only had 5 characters. Or 5 Rangers, I should say. Momoi notices that Jiro's different because he fused his personalities, and Momoi's like, no, it's good. You're different, but you're better. I can notice that. And Jiro sort of realizes, he grew. He's a better guy now because of Momoi, and Momoi is kind of acting weird. We don't really know why, but Jiro and Sonoi kind of pick up on it. And then we go back to Kiji, and we see that he's sort of accepting that Miho was a Bishio Juto this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
He's sort of finally coming to terms with that. He's moving out of his house because just too many memories of her. So he's trying to move on with his life. While he's having a lunch thing. Oh, he quit from his job. I forgot about that. And the boss was so upset. He told him, no, don't leave. The boss really likes Kiji. But, they go have lunch with Inuzaka, Kiji, and Natsumi. They're having lunch together. They're sitting down at a coffee table together. Behind them is Sononi because she's always going to be around Inu.
Forever.
She's always going to be with the dog. So the cops show up, and they're after Inu. He pulls his hand out for Natsumi to go with him, and she's not into it. This is a really big moment in the series.
Plot twist.
Natsumi does not want to go with Inu.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. So he runs off, and of course Sononi, being Sononi, chases after him. So she's going to try to help him out. Cops show up, and she ends up blowing up the cop cars with her bow and arrow. And he tells her that's way too far. but he also grabs her hand and they run away together. So maybe happy. That happens, and then Kiji gets up and leaves, or he's about to leave, and Natsumi tells him, "Hey, I think we should still talk." When we go to their apartment and you see them talking to each other. Oh, before that, we see the Tony Shigoroku create a new Hitotsuki, who is that dude who was a ninja, wizard, and bokenger.
Yep.
Hitotsuki before, Minoru Ono. This time they create the most powerful Hitotsuki, and it's King version, which is King Oger. King Oger actually gets a Hitotsuki, which is really cool. And he is the most powerful one. He bodies the three Sonishiko Roku. So they run away. We see Kiji in his apartment where he has everything in boxes, and Natsumi's behind him because they want to talk more. Turns out she remembers everything. She was having the same dream. So she kind of experienced everything that the Juto was.
Yeah, really cool.
And she kind of liked it. So she gives him a hug, which is, he's taken aback by it. She's also shocked by it looks like. And she runs at the door.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of implying that he might end up with her anyway. Inu's going to get Sononi. Sure. I'm not too upset at that. I kind of saw it coming. There was an interview with Inoue a while ago where they were saying, it was either him or another producer, they were saying this was not going to have a happy ending. And we still don't know what the ending's going to be like, but
right.
They were saying Dawn Brothers was not going to be a happy ending. But they were just having so much fun with the character and the characters. Momoi, his character, rubbed off on the actual staff, and they decided to sort of make it happy instead.
Which proves Momoi is just godlike in whatever he's in. He's godlike in the show, and he's godlike in real life.
Yeah. Anyway, from that, we can sort of assume that, yeah, she, at least Inu and Kiji, Natsumi, and Sononi are going to have happy endings, hopefully, maybe.
I hope so.
So, yeah, the old man, Minoru Ono, is too powerful. Shonichigo Roku ask the others for help, the actual Dawn Brothers, and the Juto for help.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Juto, the Noto for help, by inviting him to an Oden, that same Oden restaurant thing, shop, the little cart.
With the old man.
Sorry, with the old Oden man, yeah. Sorry, before that, Kaito shows up, or he's at the cafe, and he asks Haruka and Sonoza to help him make a party. We don't know what's going on with that yet, but Kaito is still a big question mark in this show. We'll get to that at the end. So yeah, old man shows up. The king Hitotsuki shows up, and he starts fighting everybody because the Sonoshigo Roku actually need help to defeat him. And while at this restaurant thing, sorry, before the king shows up, I'm jumping ahead of my notes. My bad. Momoi makes a note as he's getting offered food from Sonoshigo Roku that he would feel weird getting food from total strangers after he just fought them last episode.
Mm-hmm.
So something's going on with Momoi. It's really weird. I hope they don't. I don't think they will, but I hope they don't kill him off. That wouldn't be a happy ending, but I can see it happening. What I could also see happening, some people are suggesting online, is that his tasks are done here. So he's going to actually leave and take his place as the leader of the Dawn Clan again.
Yeah.
So if I could see that happening, I hope they don't kill him off, because that would sort of ruin. I mean, it wouldn't completely ruin it, but because they can do whatever they want, but that would ruin the chance for his verses. Again, he could just come back. Who cares? But yeah, there's weird stuff happening with Momo in this episode. We don't really know what's going on. We'll hopefully find out next episode. So while the Hitotsuki is fighting, the Dawn Brothers plus the Nuoto plus Sonoshigo Roku, Momo is having no problem at all. He bodies them all extremely fast. He does this really cool ending finishing move on them. We've never seen before, but it looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
The Hitotsuki actually split up into five of them, because there's 5 King Ogres, and they're all the colors of the King Oger, which is cool: red, purple, blue, yellow, and black. And then he does what he does. He takes them all out. While that's happening, 2 new Sono characters are there in hoods, Sono Na and Sono Ya. There's a big purple cloud above them. They're sort of the top of the sonos of the Nuotos, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and they're sort of watching what's going on. One of them is played by Kamen
Kaiza.
Kaiza. I don't know how to say that, but he's a big deal whenever he shows up in a tokusatsu production because he was in Fies, and his big thing is spoiler alert: he dies.
And everything.
No, he doesn't die because he also came back in. Spoiler alert: he showed up in Geolger too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He was a ranger in Geolger, so this is his third appearance. I doubt he's gonna have a suit, but Kaixa?
Kaixa. The way this is going back to me not saying things out loud, just reading them. The way I read X in any part of a word is a C sound, so Kaiza.
Okay.
But to fact check that, I could just listen to a video of them saying the name.
I was just looking up his name in his the actor's name, and it's Kohei Murakami. He shows up. He is Sono Na or Sono Ya, one of those two. And the other one is Yuka Motohashi, who before played Yellow Racer, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, big name.
I love Car Ranger. She's great. Unfortunately, 2 years ago in August, we found out that she was diagnosed with cancer, which really, really, really sucked. But it's really, really cool to see her back here. So I guess she's doing a lot better.
Yeah.
To actually appear in Dawn Brothers. Because man, and she's even wearing yellow on her suit, perfect on the suit she's wearing in the show in Dawn Brothers. But yeah, they sort of just watch the fight happen and they disappear. Who knows what's gonna happen next week?
Mm-hmm.
The episode ends with a cool little birthday party for
Taro.
Momotaro. It's not his birthday, but they have a party, and Kaito actually says, "Oh, my bad." He knew it wasn't his birthday. He's doing this party for a reason.
Yeah, he knows.
I think Kaito knows either Taro's leaving or he's dying or something's gonna. This is all just telegraphing that.
Mm-hmm.
They give him little gifts. Oh, they give him a cake, and the cake reminds him of his, that last episode, months ago, where we see he had a birthday party and nobody showed up, and he was just waiting the whole time, and it was really sad. But they give him
stupidly sad.
Yeah, very, very sad. But the crew, they give him a new birthday cake, and it has the same little thing on it. It looks just like the cake that he had before.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dawn Brothers give him a birthday present. It's a big pillow with all their little signs on it. It's really cool and really sweet. And then the Noto, Sonoi, Sonoini, and Sonoza give him really nice looking chopsticks for the Oden.
Yeah.
So it's really nice, really touching. They really, really like each other and everything. And everybody sort of notes like, oh man, yeah, you look a lot happier. You're a lot better. I wonder why. And I think Haruka suggests, oh, because you're with us. You're happier because you're with us. And Momo is like, don't be serious. There's no way I'd ever admit to that. Or something. He's sort of like, no way. But he can't finish what he's saying. And he dies. And everybody knows when he lies, he dies.
Mm-hmm.
So the last shot is Momoe on the floor, Kiji checking his pulse, and Kiji's going, hey, he's dead! And everybody's celebrating except for Inu brother. Because he's so new to the team, he had no idea about this, about Momoe Taro. And that's one of the best endings to an episode ever. Everybody is so hype that Momoe Taro died. And Inu brother's like, no, master, you can't hear it, but you can definitely see from his mouth. He's saying, master, he's dead. That ending scene right there is something that would get me to excuse, like we were talking earlier, what would I get to excuse it?
Yeah. That
kind of end right there is what I love about this stupid show. It is just so stupid.
It's good
stupid
times
in
all
the
around.
right ways. And that sort of attention that they paid to Inu reacting like that is just I didn't even notice it. I saw it on Twitter. Somebody posted the GIF on Twitter or the video clip on Twitter.
Yeah,
and I had to rewatch it again. Sure enough, Inu was like, and everybody's just hype out their minds that he died. Oh, he died. He died because he lied. Because it turns out, yes, he does actually like spending time with them.
Right.
And from the beginning of the show, you know that he was just a straight asshole.
Straight up.
Momotaro.
Straight up.
Yeah. So it was really nice to see that he likes them now. He didn't call them friends. He didn't see them as equals at all. He still probably might not, because in that last fight with the King Hutotsuki, everybody else is sort of getting their butt whooped, and he goes, "If this is all you've got a lot more to go with me." And then he sort of just goes away, does his final move or his finishing move, and just gets rid of all the he's just that godlike.
He one shots all of them. Like, he does a finishing move that we've never seen before, and then one shots all of them.
Five King Hitotsuki. Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
One thing for Inu brother calling out for Kaito Masta. I didn't know that in Japan, Masta is like the shop owner. I didn't know that. So that's actually a little thing that I had to look up, which makes sense in past things that we've watched. People calling the shop owner or like a cafe owner Masta. That didn't really make sense to me, but now it does.
Yeah, they. I mean, in the subs that we get, they do it. They translate it to boss, which that's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
Haruka wearing two hats.
That is also one of my favorite parts of the episode. Haruka, because she's Oni's sister, she's got two hats on to make it look like she has horns because she's the Oni. That's, again, I love it. Yeah, I'm having a really good time with Don Bros. It's the end, so I'm sad, and I'm hoping next week when we get the new episode, they're also going to announce versus Zenkaiser, and that'll be the last time we see them. Oh man, I hope they do announce that. There's no signs of it.
None yet.
And what was it? Zenkaiser versus Kira Major, that sort of just happened as well. So I hope we just sort of get it, because I don't want to leave this team, and I really want to see Zenkaiser's team again, because Zenkaiser's team was so fun too, and that kind of dynamic. Just like when Kira Major met Zenkaiser, that was really fun too. So we'll see. I can't wait.
I can't wait for anything Zenkaiser does. It's just so good.
Yeah, hopefully it comes back. But yeah, that's Dawn Brothers 49. I had a good time. Geats, I had an alright time too. I'm trying not to be so sour on Geats, because I know a lot of people like it. I'm trying to like it. We're gonna keep watching SHT forever. So
yeah,
I'm not gonna be watching something I don't like.
True.
Even though I really wish we stopped with Saber. Oh my god, I did not like Saber.
So here's the thing with that. A lot of people, I think, like Saber with all its flaws.
Good for them. I would, if this were a visual podcast, I would put a GIF of Homeboy running up the stairs.
Oh
the
no,
stairs. That is probably peak Saber right there.
Well, I mean, God, man, that show was whatever. Dawn Brothers.
I did like Sabella, of course.
Oh yeah, Sabella was like one of the best parts of that. The only crutch with Sabella is that she has a brother complex.
Yeah, you should watch that movie that they had together. It kind of goes into that.
Oh, cool.
Where she was supposed to be marrying somebody.
Yeah.
We'll watch that sometime. Go ahead.
Dawn Brothers, ending next episode. Very sad. Again, tying everything up in a neat bow isn't really like the biggest thing for me right now, considering all the questions that they have. Introducing two new Sona people in the show, and then Kaito all of a sudden losing some of his characteristics and like his memory, I guess.
Kaito does not Kaito.
Oh no, Momotaro. It's not like super imperative that we answer all those questions. I'm just happy that we get to have a good happy ending, considering we weren't supposed to get one.
Yeah. Another thing about that I read from another production blog post. I don't know if this is 100% true. I should have looked into this. But
no.
I read it and thought it was funny, and it would not surprise me if it wasn't true.
Okay.
But apparently, Taro's full name, Momoi Taro. Apparently his full name is Avataro.
No way. Really?
Avataro Sentai Dawn Brothers.
Yeah, his name being the Sentai.
Apparently. I think this is true, but I'm putting this disclaimer. I don't know if it is real or not. It's hilarious, and again, I wouldn't put it past them to have his actual full name be Momoi Avataro. I hope it's real, because that's great.
Man, wouldn't that be a plot twist at the end there? That's the last line. Oh yeah, my name's actually Momoi.
Not a plot twist, but yeah.
Well, yeah, like a little thing at the end, like a little.
It would be really funny.
Hey there, like a little thing. Avataro. That God, that makes me want it to be true.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
That's great. Oh, also another big open ending, open ended plot line is Don Murasame. He has been
Yeah.
underutilized, in my opinion. Being a purple, he
Hmm.
deserves purple respect. Being one of the coolest characters in the show, he hasn't really been given that. No answer about his mother in his head that tells him how to fight. No answer of how he was created by the Dawn clan, or about how he can turn into a sword and fly around, which I know just comes with everything. But like little things like that would have been nice to know.
I mean, you're 100% right. You're very valid. At the same time, in my opinion, to me, he was always a toy commercial.
You think
And
so? You think so?
yes, I know, I say that a lot to you, that this is all just a toy commercial. Don't look too into it. I think he was a purple sword repaint, and there's more to it than just a repaint. I know it is remolded, but I think he was chasing Stay Caesar.
Yeah, probably
Stay Caesar was really popular,
for good reason.
uh, so I think that was one where Toei wanted to push that in the show, and maybe the writer didn't. He didn't really care.
Mm-hmm.
There was a point where he did matter to the plot, kind of, but you're right. He doesn't really do anything anymore. He well, Inu used the sword to fight the Juto version of Miho. That
Right.
was a whole thing. But we haven't seen the sword since then. We do see in the upcoming episode, trailer, he is going to be a part of the next episode.
Yeah,
So maybe there's going to be a quick line like, "Oh, I'm free now. You want to be friends?" Or who knows what's going to happen.
because Inu still has control of the sword, like voluntarily from Don
Yeah,
Murasame.
he owns it. Yeah, because in that episode where Momotaro just destroys all the paper origami cats, Inu calls the sword. He's about to call it to do its thing,
Mm-hmm.
and Momo's like, "No, you don't need that," and Momo does his thing. So even then, he calls Don Morasame, doesn't show up. So yeah, we don't really know what's up with him. And I get you, you're right. He does look cool. I don't think he's the best one, but I think even his suit is kind of like a repaint. I don't really see much to him. I don't mind not getting an answer to him. What I do want more info on is Kaito. Just because we had him last season and he was really cool there, and now he's here with the same name and everything.
Yep.
It might just be a fun little thing that they did because, as we know in the last one, Kaito didn't really get to interact with a human team,
Right.
so he didn't get to have the same kind of experience other Sentai actors have, which is kind of, I get that, but you don't need that. It's appreciative for sure, so it's nice, but even then, why really is he here?
Yeah.
What actually happened? Yeah.
Like it with Kaito, it could be that okay, it's just a fun little thing to have him in there because he didn't have a human team in the last series. Or on the other option, he could be the god of this world, like how they portrayed him in the last series when he had his god form, which was a god playing him. Yeah, it could be that. It could just be he's a fun side character, dimension hopping, like how he did at the end of his series. Or he could be the literal god persona of the world making
I
this show.
I think the easiest thing is for them to say that, yeah, he is just that god character again, and I wouldn't be that upset about it. Just because that would make sense. It's not something that would just be pulled out of nowhere.
Right.
That would make sense, and everybody who watched Zenkaiger would get that explanation, be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I guess, sure." It wouldn't be that satisfying because you kind of hope there's more to it.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we're on the last episode next week. I wouldn't be surprised if it is just
Because
he's the same character from the god, and he liked this world and he wanted to see what it was about.
definitely,
Yeah.
because Kaito has been shown to have like real ties to the world and to the characters. Like Christmas, Santa, he knows Santa. Santa knows him as the one true hero, the forever
Mm,
hero.
yeah,
Um,
and he is Santa,
yeah, like straight up. And
like Magic Santa.
he knew he knew Taro's dad, the guardian of the
Hmm.
lock, and Taro's dad, the guardian, like is enamored by seeing him out in the open in public, like totally thrown off by it. I think Kaito is like a huge player. And in the preview of the next episode, there's one little sneaky frame, if you blink, you miss it, of a super dramatic shot of Kaito's head looking off into the distance with a shadow over his head.
Yeah, it's really ominous. We don't know what that's gonna look like.
I'm excited a lot.
We'll see. Like I said, Don Brothers so far has been really, really fun. I really like it. I hope we get to see some really cool stuff. And then King Oger's right around the corner. That's gonna be fun. Mm-hmm. Hopefully by then we'll have a name for the podcast. We'll have a better production and stuff. Because I think it'd be nice to start with a clean slate. First episode, we can talk about it.
Right.
And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I just want to say, since we touched on it in the middle of this episode, my favorite Sentais. I started watching Sentai in high school, but I didn't start off with the current season that was going on. I started off with the recommendation from Super Blastex, which was Samurai Sentai Shinkenger, which to this day has to be number 1 or number 2 Sentai.
I think we can get into that kind of stuff because I want to get into Kyoryuger as well.
Yeah,
but we've hit an hour. Yeah, I think we should wrap it up here. Keep that Shinkenger thought though, because we might get into it next week.
Heck yeah!
Next week it might just be Don Brothers love podcast. We just get into Don Brothers and reminisce about all the stuff we experienced this year, with Don Brothers.
Recap.
But I think this getting into our favorite Sentai and Kamen and stuff like that, we should save that for like a special episode type thing.
That'd be nice
because we can get into that.
Oh, I mean, just us talking about that could be a whole 2-3 hours of just talking about that.
That's what I'm saying. We got into an hour already, so let's try. Do you have any other thoughts on today's SHD?
Nothing I haven't already said. Don Brothers is doing good. I hope that everyone has a good ending, except for Taro. It's kind of looking like he's going to get a bad ending. I really hope they don't shoehorn too much of Sononi and Inu brother being together, even though it's, kind of how they're going in the direction. I hope it's not like super forced in the last episode. Oh, okay, I'll go with you. Okay, I love you too. That sort of thing. Yeah. I hope it's still like up in the air floating, just like how Kiji brother and Miho, not Miho anymore, is kind of up in the air right now.
Natsumi, yeah.
Yeah, Natsumi. And Geats, God, I really hope Geats can continue to make one full story and not feel like add-ons of a plot.
Yeah, I think they can. We'll see. I hope so too. But I think that's it. Thanks everybody for listening. Again, this is Super Blastex. You can find me on YouTube, Super Blastex, TikTok, the Super Blastex, Twitter, Super Blastex. I'm like that everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Tony?
I am Toku Tony. Toku Tony on Instagram, but Tony Toku on Twitter, unfortunately, because someone took Toku Tony in like 2014.
Maybe they're listening to this. Maybe you can talk to them. Who knows? Thanks everybody for listening. We'll catch you next week. We'll see you. Bye.
See you later. It's all well that ends well. No, that's not right. Medatashi, Medatashi.